Part 7. They posted it upside down, and I'm actually not satisfied with it. Author, Lao He. Chapter 61. Chapter 61. How can I get the boss to take me? The same funds means that they are very unified when they withdraw, and they are also very unified when they enter. Therefore, you don't need to consider the overall situation, you just need to secure the leading funds. Looking at the entire A-share market, there are really too many such tickets, which are also commonly known as banker stocks. Deutsche Transport was just listed this year, with a market value of more than 8 billion and a circulation value of only more than 3 billion. And it's only been half a year now. Half a year, 1 year, 1.5 years, 2 years, 2.5 years. These numbers have some special meanings in the stock market. Lift the ban. The game surrounding the lifting of the ban is very complicated, and Li Yuan doesn't know what will happen. But he knows one thing, that is, there will be another stream of funds entering the game. What if the funds that are about to be released are the same as the funds that are currently controlled? That's even better. They have billions of funds, but their own side can only survive with a few hundred million. One by one, their own side has an absolute advantage. But they should not be together, otherwise the stock price would not fall back to a relatively low level. Continue to put in funds. If the other party hits the limit, put all the funds in. Li Yuan said something in the group. There is no absolute winner in the game. Originally, the situation was 50-50, but by constantly throwing chips at the opponent, his chances of winning were approaching 60%. When playing games, you would dare to draw if you had a 1 in a million chance of winning, but now you are 60% sure. To frown twice is a sign of disrespect for the odds. He discovered that something was wrong in the 13 Tebeo group. Everyone is no longer active in chatting. Everyone was acting like a chatterbox before, but now he gave instructions. Only Ho Jianqiu responded, understood. No matter what they did, Li Yuan couldn't care less. He is now waiting for all the funds in the account to be transferred in, and then operates his own funds. His own funds must be played with 100% probability. If the probability is less than 90%, life or death is uncertain. Otherwise, money laundering would not be a hugely profitable industry. 100,000 clean money is more valuable than 1 million tainted money. After taking a look at Zhongchen Electronics, I saw that it was favored at the opening of the market, and the transaction volume was 2 to 3 million. The funds in it were really ruthless. The impact of the 2015 stock market crash has been much smaller by this time. Many funds have been hungry for a long time and are eager to make some money. There is an old saying that goes well. I'll just wait and not go in. Just when he was about to make a video, Lu Hao suddenly received a message on his WeChat account. He picked it up and saw that it belonged to the bloggerling Linky. Boss, the market is doing well today. After watching the video yesterday, I also copied my homework today. Thank you, boss, for letting me earn 3 points. Li Yuan. He had just adjusted the account worth 100,000 yuan. A capital of 100,000 yuan can only be used casually in the market. He would rub it even at 3 or 5 points, and he would rub it non-stop at 7 or 8 points. Don't copy your homework from now on. I will most likely adjust positions after I update the video. After all, she had lit a fire for herself, and Li Yuan still wanted to persuade her. Ah! Boss, what should I do? Cry. Let's see if you can borrow securities. That stock can be borrowed and lock in profits in advance. I'm going to try. Li Yuan opened the stock he had previously operated, Zilio shares. It opened low in early trading and then quickly pulled up. It has increased by 8 points now, and it has been trying to seal the board, but it cannot be sealed. Li Yuan came out during the initial board closing stage, and with the 5 points he earned yesterday, the total funds in his account are already close to 120,000. The holding cost of Ling Linky's position is relatively high, and it is clear that he will be the target of being cut off. He is just messing around and doesn't want to be responsible for the ticket, so how can he stay in there for the rest of his life? Within a few minutes, the ticket was no longer installed. After trying to seal the board 5 or 6 times without success, I felt that the funds inside could no longer be stored, so I just lay flat. The stock price naturally plummeted. From 8 points on the water, quickly dropped back to 5 points underwater. There are a lot of panic funds, and they are all falling, and the limit is not far away. Li Yuan saw no sign of funds coming in, and there was little effort from below to undertake it. Afterwards, tens of thousands of lots were placed at the lower limit. Ling Chi, cry cry cry. 3 emoticons were sent, and Li Yuan replied, no chance, remember to run in the early trading tomorrow. I guess there will be a high opening in the early trading. Don't be greedy, open 2 or 3 points higher and run. Remember, don't copy in the future homework, the homework you copied is just a string of codes, and the stock market does not live by codes. If you listen to yourself tomorrow, you will probably lose 10 points. If we don't come out tomorrow, we will lose at least 25 points. Ling Chi, boss, to tell you the truth, I started copying your homework last week, but in the end I didn't make much money. I lost it all in one fell swoop today. These are all the dowry my parents left for me before they passed away is all gone now. I can't help it. It's better not to speculate in stocks from now on. Li Yuan originally thought this woman was a bit unreasonable. After hearing that her parents passed away, she understood each other. I guess it's because I have no sustenance for my soul and no home, so I will naturally do some indulgent things. Whatever behavior such a person does can be planned to be within the normal scope. Ling Chi, boss, just take care of me. I don't ask too much, I just want to get my money back. It's very clear in my profile. It's too risky to take this guy with you. The 13 Tebeo have weird personalities, at least they only work in that small circle. And this woman has a fan base. Moreover, she is a woman who has a strong desire to share. She may make money today and show it off tomorrow. It won't be long before he has to be sent in. Ling Chi, then how can I get the boss to take me? Nothing will work. Just say no to this kind of thing simply. Ling Chi, picture. A photo suddenly appeared in Li Yuan's sight. The girl in the photo has an eye-catching figure, wearing a tight t-shirt underneath and a light yellow jacket outside. The coat was very loose and slid down to the shoulders. The sling couldn't wrap up her figure, but fortunately the hair on both sides fell down on her chest, blocking a large area. It is precisely this that makes the middle area even deeper. As for her face, she couldn't see clearly because she was wearing a sun hat and sunglasses, and her head was slightly lowered, so only the tip of her nose could be seen. But with this figure, he felt as good as Xu Yanlin. The scale is a little worse, but the overall smooth curves are obviously better. Asking a few questions is the greatest respect for this figure. Ling Chi, boss, as long as you take me with you, my new clothes will be here soon, and I will take pictures of them for the boss to see. Ling Chi, picture. 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 Boss, these are the clothes I just bought. Inside are sailor uniforms, nurse uniforms, pink OL uniforms. They posted it upside down, and I'm actually not satisfied with it. Author, Lao He. Chapter 62. You're going to use this to test me. Which stock investor can't stand such a test? Stop it, there are sickles outside, waiting to cut you. Li Yuan will not take risks on this matter. Even if Ling Linky had a few fewer pieces of clothing, he would only share the difference without paying for it. Playing for fun, making trouble for trouble, he has covered tens of millions of profits from the 13 Tebeo. How many layers should he cover with Ling Linky, a woman he has never even met? More trouble, less danger. The best thing to do is say no. The other party didn't seem to expect that Li Yuan could refuse so simply. He said oh and said nothing more. But this Ling Linky has a really tall figure, a bit like Zhou Ranran and Xu Yanlin combined. Zhou Ranran's sense of strength, Xu Yanlin's pushback feeling. Suddenly, a voice came from Li Yuan's ear. You like this kind of figure? When Li Yuan turned around, he saw Zhou Ranran. I just came back from driving practice, and I haven't even had time to take off my sun hat and sunglasses. Include sun protective clothing outside. How's it going? You're in good shape, right? Li Yuan replied with a smile. Unexpectedly, Zhou Ranran directly unzipped the sun protection clothing, then rolled up the white t-shirt 3 inches above her waist. Then she put her hands on her hips and said, isn't this the figure? It seems like no one has it. Li Yuan looked at the sweat still remaining on Zhou Ranran's neck. With such an action, he almost perfectly replicated Ling Linky's look. Comparing it with the picture, he discovered that Zhou Ranran's was not too small. In the past, I only felt that it was within the normal category. It seems that the black t-shirt before affected my vision. After all, black is more light absorbing, and some outlines are not particularly clear. Lu Hao, who was passing by, saw this formation and went out to buy food again. Li Yuan thought Lu Hao would come to the rescue. After all, there was something wrong with the current atmosphere. He gave a thumbs up and said sincerely, Sister Ran's figure is absolutely stunning to others. I didn't notice it before, it's because I was blind. From now on, when I look at other girls, I will always be attracted by Sister Ran's figure. Such disrespect. Snored. Zhou Ranran lifted the sun protection jacket that had fallen off her shoulders and said, that Wen Yuxian's figure is still very good. She is no worse than me. Do you want me to help you talk? She seems to be interested in you. No, I don't want to fall in love yet, let's wait and see. Li Yuan quickly refused. In order to find an excuse to chat with him, Wen Yuxian told some things about the driving school. Among them was chatting with Zhou Ranran. And Wen Yuxian calls Zhou Ranran Senior's girlfriend. What does this mean? It means that Wen Yuxian has been practicing driving for several days and has spoken to Zhou Ranran several times. So far, Zhou Ranran has not taken away the title of girlfriend. Obviously, whether it is true or false, she cares about this title. Maybe this title can give her some sense of belonging? After all, she had only returned to the group for a few days, and everything around her made her feel confused and hesitant. Zhou Ranran said reluctantly, you are no longer young, and now you have dropped out of school. It's time to find a girlfriend. Sister Ran, didn't you just say that Wen Yuxian's figure is not as good as yours, and her looks are probably even worse than yours? I can't force myself, can I? When will I find someone more beautiful and with a better figure than you? Even better, I'll take the initiative to chase them. In fact, among the girls Li Yuan knew, Shen Anna was the only one who could outperform Zhou Ranran overall. What if I can't find it? Zhou Ranran asked. Li Yuan chuckled and stretched out his hand towards Zhou Ranran, if we can't find him, let's just make do with it. Get out. Zhou Ranran slapped Li Yuan's hand away, turned around and walked towards his room. She had to run, otherwise she would be exposed on the spot. Li Yuan breathed a sigh of relief. He didn't have anything to be afraid of. He was mainly afraid that if his parents found out about it, the old couple might lose their temper. Before I knew it, it was late June. In about 10 days, Zhangzhou University will have a holiday. As usual, he would stay home for a while during the summer vacation, and his mother would prepare some delicious food to keep him healthy. He wasn't planning to go back this summer vacation, but he just hadn't thought of an excuse yet. Falling in love? I'm afraid this excuse won't work, and my mother will come directly in the car. Are there any projects arranged by the teacher? Want to stay in school? This is actually possible. The problem is that he has already broken up with the college and has no intention of going back. As for work-study, it is impossible to work part-time. He is the only precious son in his family. My mother will not allow him to work during his freshman year. So how can I reasonably prevent myself from going home? You can't say that Lu Hao was deceived into a black coal mine and you should save him yourself, right? That would make the family even more worried. At this time, Lu Hao came back. Brother Yuan, are you done? It's done. No, what has been done? At this time, Zhou Ran wiped her hair, changed some clothes, and walked out of the room. Her wet short hair stuck to her cheeks, making her entire face look pink and tender. Lu Hao took out the vegetables he bought and delivered a portion of stir-fried kidneys to Li Yuan. Brother Yuan, make up for it? Patch up, I think it's time for you to patch up. You're sweating profusely after being out for a while. Be careful of being disliked by your wife in the future. Lu Hao chuckled and said, I bought it a long time ago. I'm afraid that you guys didn't finish your work and just hung around outside for a while. Zhou Ran had just taken a bite of food and asked doubtfully, what are you busy with? Li Yuan felt, this guy should really be tricked into going to the black coal mine. He did it on purpose. It's true that even fools have their own minds. Since you want to match up so much, I will sacrifice you during the summer vacation. Private room on the second floor of Suiwen restaurant. Anna Shen invited Feng Dongchen over for dinner. After finishing the meal, Feng Dongchen said, Sister Anna, I have already investigated the license plate of the Ferrari driven by Li Yuan. The license plate belongs to Ho Wenbin, but I can't get in touch with Ho Wenbin. You can only ask for the specific situation. After Anna Shen heard the name Ho Wenbin, she immediately figured it out. Ho Wenbin didn't appear many times in Zhangzhou circles, and his main focus was on the circles in the Magic City. So that car did not appear in front of the public, and I had never seen it before. She wasn't familiar with Ho Wenbin either, but they were able to talk to each other. The Shen family is definitely richer than the Ho family, but the Ho family's background is much better than that of the Shen family. So even if she is the second generation and Ho Wenbin is the third generation, she is still slightly weaker than Ho Wenbin. He will come back in a few days. Let me ask him about his relationship with Li Yuan. Where are you? Still not giving up on that Tong Sui? Feng Dongchen said with a straight face, waiting for the news about Sister Anna. If that Li Yuan is a fake young master, I will try to embarrass her. But if it is true, what's really going on? That bitch Tong Sui is now secretly saying that she is Li Yuan's girlfriend. Regardless of whether it is true or false, I can't slap someone in the face with my status, right? I don't dare to touch her even if I have some influence on her. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. They posted it upside down, and I'm actually not satisfied with it. Author, Lao He. Chapter 63. Li Yuan felt that the group was getting more and more deserted. The market is about to open in the afternoon, but no one is discussing stocks. Is this normal? This is normal shit. But anyway, what I did was not a bright thing, so I couldn't say anything. As long as you have a lot of money, that's fine. So he sent a group message, the position should exceed 160 million, right? Add another 150 million position in the afternoon, and keep the remaining funds for tomorrow. Now Deutsche Transport has dropped by 6 points. If it does not advance into this position, I am afraid that it will be snatched up by others. Ho Genkuo said at this time, Boss, A total of 130 million funds have come in here. Didn't you say you have to go slow? So we don't move so fast. Only 130 million. Li Yuan looked at the turnover of 150 million and was stunned. Because this ticket is very powerful in controlling the market, if it is just a battle between two parties, retail investors can achieve a turnover of at most 20 million, which is amazing. After all, the circulation value of this ticket is only over 3 billion. For many stocks with a market value of more than 3 billion, the daily turnover is around 10 to 20 million, or even several million. He thought that 160 million was already a very conservative number. After all, 100 million of it was from yesterday. Unexpectedly, the 13 Tebeo was even more conservative than him. And now, the problem is bigger. The 13 Tebeo entered the market today with a total of 30 million, so who did the other 120 million? Retail investors told him that if he counted 20 million for half a day, how about another 100 million? It's impossible for the large funds inside to pay handling fees with the left hand and the right hand in this situation, right? No more waiting, all the funds are rushed in. Before the market closes, 400 million funds will be invested. Li Yuan felt that there was someone more ruthless than him. If this continued, he would be the one who suffered the most. After all, the chips in hand are small. If the cost of holding a position is still high, there is no point in playing it. However, in the next half hour, he found that the trading volume did not change much. It was still the same as in the early trading, with an increase of hundreds of thousands or millions. He realized that there was a problem with the 13 Tebeo. He said in the group, if you don't want to continue to follow, the funds should be stopped here. Our cooperation ends here. After saying that, he left the group chat directly. Then he drove his car to another securities company and opened a new account. The one with no transfer restrictions. I transferred 12 million on the spot and asked for 12 million in financing. With more money, no matter what he does, it will be much more convenient, even if he is only 19 years old. It was only 2:30 when we got back to our place, so we had plenty of time. Ho Jianqiu sent him a lot of messages, but he was too lazy to reply. He took out all the 11 million he had in Pianxi Huang, plus the 24 million from the new account. Without any hesitation, he entered Dejiao Transportation. After finishing all this, I took a sip of water and just finished. Deutsche Bahn dropped 8 points, hitting the limit on the way, and then pulled back 2 points in the last 3 minutes of bidding. He originally did not want to enter Deutsche Transport because of the risks involved. However, as the situation on the market became more and more clear, the big funds from 13 Tebeo did not come in at all, which made him anxious. Yesterday, he was indeed only 60% sure, and even in early trading this morning, his confidence had not increased much. But when he knew that 13 Tebeo had only entered the game with 30 million today, he was 80% sure. The afternoon was the last chance. Someone had the funds to use their names to sneak in. The cover was very good and they were used as guns. It was like digging, and finally tried out the root of the gold mine, only to find that the people around me were unwilling to work. A group of people who had not contributed before took over the best position and started digging. Even if there are still risks, Li Yuan can only do it. Because this is definitely a big trend. It's not a big market, so I won't be in such a hurry. Market sentiment is always changing. My emotions yesterday were completely different from my emotions today. Yesterday's market performance looked like it was about to cut them off, and today it was even more exaggerated, as if the big funds inside were about to run away. But the two performances represent completely different meanings. Yesterday, Li Yuan was still thinking about reaching an agreement with the big funds inside, and everyone would work together. As a result, today I discovered that the big funds inside had eliminated the differences without even having to do anything on their own. The best way to resolve differences is to scare away the inconsistent funds. Similar to the Zhenlong chess game, they knew they were in the game from the beginning, so they killed some of their own pieces first to liven up the stagnant board and give themselves hope. Because they had enough control over the board, they began to kill everyone after the board became active, trying to make him lose hope bit by bit. Normal people should run away today. Regardless of whether Li Yuan ran or stayed, for them, their goal was achieved. Ran. You can cut off a piece of meat. Stayed. It means that the funds of both parties are consistent. How much you earn in the end depends on your own level. It can be regarded as being taught a lesson. Although Li Yuan never thought about withdrawing from the beginning to the end, he could not change anything in essence, nor did he guide the funds inside. He glanced at the message from Ho Zhenkuo. Big brother, don't be angry. We have accelerated our entry into the market and currently have a position of 200 million. We can continue to enter the market tomorrow, and we can get at least 300 million, I can guarantee it. Regardless of profit or loss, we trust the boss. We will do whatever the boss tells us to do. The main thing today is that everyone has something to do and is delayed, so they can't keep operating. Li Yuan knew that these were just excuses. After all, he is not a god, so I don't know what the 13 Taibao is thinking. And what others want to do has nothing to do with you. He has the right to choose not to cooperate in the future. There is no chance to enter the market tomorrow. There is a high probability that you will be pushed directly. If you don't push it, the second board will be opened. I will pay attention to the market. If there is a change in the market, I will notify you to withdraw as soon as possible. Otherwise, just follow, I don't care anymore. After Li Yuan finished speaking, he stopped replying. As long as his 35 million can make enough profits, he will never have to have anything to do with the 13 Taibao in the future. In general, I am still grateful for their existence. Although they earn more, this money is more important to Li Yuan. Ho Zhenkuo forwarded what Li Yuan said to the group. Oh, this time we should put all the funds into it. Even if it is really a pig-killing game, we will lose 1 or 2 billion at most. Lao Wu, this is the kindness of a woman. Why should we lose 200 million? After finally getting back some capital, who would want to be a pig butcher? That's right, that Deutsche Transport opened 2 points high and kept grinding until it fell to the bottom. No one knows how to play this kind of rubbish. At least we also supported 200 million, and it's not like we didn't give any. In this matter, we have done our best to be benevolent. Even if we are cut off, the most we can do is cut off the profits he brought us to make. As for the word tomorrow, I think he is deceiving people and their minds are not clear. This junk stock has some. What qualifications do you have for taking the lead? Third brother, did you buy Wool Yanjai at the bottom? Copy 10 million and sell it when the price rises tomorrow. That's okay. Tomorrow, Deku's transportation will most likely fall to the limit. Then we will give the guy the delivery order of Wool Yanjai where we bought the bottom. He will naturally understand that we are not that easy to fool. It's not that he can cut as much as he wants from us. Ho Zhenkuo didn't say anything else. What everyone said was reasonable. Dejiao Transport had no future at all. It has been 2 full days, and everyone's account is still at a loss. The overall loss is close to 5 points. Their trust in the big brother, 2 days and 200 million, is already the limit. Unlike last time, Wool Yanjai has been trending. They posted it upside down, and I'm actually not satisfied with it. Author, Lao He. Chapter 64. Mouse, how was your chat with your female online friend? Li Yuan was finished with his work, but he didn't forget that Lu Hao stabbed him in the back at noon. Lu Hao said, we just started chatting, we are not very familiar with each other. You haven't even found your own girlfriend, how come you have the courage to match up with Sister Ran? was noticed by Brother Yuan. Lu Hao scratched his head. He thought he had done something very smart, so he asked others for advice. The two of them worked together for several days. Li Yuan. No one can fail to see it. It's good to be surrounded by people who are very opinionated. Being assertive means being able to withstand greater pressure. And as long as it doesn't interfere with his own decisions, he has no objection to some opinions in daily life. He only cares about money and nothing else. Don't think too much about Sister Ran. I have already made arrangements. During the Chinese New Year this year, I will ensure that Sister Ran goes home in glory. After Li Yuan said this, Lu Hao's eyes lit up. Really, but you have to make some sacrifices. Lu Hao immediately patted his chest and said, no problem, any kind of sacrifice is fine, as long as you don't really sacrifice. I am the only one in the Lu family. I have to talk about sacrifice after I have a child. Don't worry, I won't put you in any danger. Just cooperate. After saying that, Li Yuan left. He came to the living room, opened his WeChat, and first replied to Wen Yuxian's message. Sorry, I went to bed early yesterday, and I'm just finishing my work now. The manuscript is well written and has the potential to become a hit. Come on. In fact, he didn't even read the content of the manuscript. Then there were messages from Xu Yanlin. Xu Yanlin sent him 2 or 3 messages one after another today, starting from when she got up in the morning and ending half an hour ago. Every time she sends a sentence, she waits for several hours and does not send it frequently. Senior, Dabai doesn't eat anything today. Does he miss you? This is the message Xu Yanlin sent half an hour ago. Li Yuan replied, then I will buy some cat food and deliver it to the door of your community. You can come down and pick it up. Xu Yanlin replied almost instantly, well, how about I go with the senior? Maybe Dabai wants to stay with the senior for a while, so that his appetite will be better. I have something to do later. Just for a while, just wait until Dabai finishes eating, okay. Li Yuan thought for a while and then replied, I'll meet you at the gate of your community in 5 minutes. After saying that, he took the car keys and went out. When he arrived at the gate of Xu Yanlin's community, Xu Yanlin was already standing on the roadside with Dabai in her arms. She doesn't like to wear shirts because she often has trouble buttoning them, and even if she tries to button them up, she might not know when they'll fall apart. What you get by force will not lead to happiness in the end. So white t-shirts became her first choice, they are stretchy and tolerant enough. As for whether the cat in my arms went on a hunger strike, who knows? Anyway, Li Yuan saw some cat girl powder remaining on Dabai's beards. I guess I just finished eating and haven't had time to tidy up my beard. After all, cats are such clean animals. The place you live in can be dirty, but your body must not be dirty. After Xu Yanlin got in the car, she took out a small bag of cat food and brought it to Dabai's mouth. As a result, Dabai turned his head away. Xu Yanlin said, Senior, look, it really doesn't eat. Li Yuan reached out and touched Dabai's head and said, he seems to be in good spirits. He probably isn't sick. I'll take him to the pet store later to see what kind of cat food he wants to eat. All right. Fasten your seat belt. Hey, okay. The car drove towards the city. Li Yuan did not expose Xu Yanlin's behavior of feeding the cat before going out, and took her directly to the park in the city center. The weather outside is still very hot, but there are many people holding activities in the grove of the park. Basically, they are all for promotion, either to download a certain software or to promote some healthcare products. The two found a lawn and sat down. Dabai immediately went to weed the grass. Although there is no wheat grass, what makes these two guys unreliable? They don't know how to raise cats. They have lost their appetite today because their digestion is too slow. And the hostess insisted on stuffing a handful of cat food into its mouth before leaving, for fear that it would have an appetite after seeing the male owner. It still misses the days in college. I will be suffocated by this mistress every day. It would be better to change to a hostess with smaller breasts. The grass here is not tasty and not tender enough. But it urgently needs some plant fiber to promote digestion. Even if it is unpalatable, it is still better than being stuffed to death. Unconsciously, it has gone far. He looked back at the hostess, very angry. Where do you say you love me? Why didn't I find it after running so far? Look at you, you only care about talking to the male master, and you don't even want me. Also, what are you doing with your hands on your chest? Are you afraid that others won't see how big you are? Your baby is about to leave home. Woohoo, you were never this happy when you were with this baby. This baby wants to report your conspiracy to the male master. Meow carrot. Tong Sui is going crazy these days at school. She has prepared a new mobile phone number and registered a new WeChat account. But I never had the chance to add Li Yuan. Because she knew that she only had one chance, and if she didn't make it, she would lose it in the future. During this period, when she was chatting with people in private, she acted as if she had a good relationship with Li Yuan. She even posted some posts on Moments to exaggerate Li Yuan's photography skills. After all, there was no picture of Li Yuan in the same frame as her on her mobile phone. In her previous circle of friends, even if a licking dog gave her a nice gift, she was not qualified to leave the country. Now she pressed against Li Yuan desperately. She felt that as long as she lowered her figure, Li Yuan would not reject her at all. No man can refuse to take him out with him. However, she doesn't even have a chance to see Li Yuan now. I don't know where Li Yuan went. Sun Hongmei was placed next to Ma Chenkai, but she didn't find out. At this moment, her cell phone rang. I picked it up and saw that it belonged to Sun Hongmei. The content is very simple, just a photo. In the photo, Li Yuan is sitting on the lawn with a girl. Li Yuan has a faint smile on his face, and the girl next to him is smiling very satisfied. Red plum? Where was this taken? The moment she saw the girl, she panicked. Because she found that she had no advantage compared to that girl, except for height. It's in the southeast corner of the park in the city center. Ma Chenkai and I were working part-time as land pushers here. We saw Li Yuan's car and searched for a while before we found him. What car? Is it a Porsche or a Ferrari? Porsche. Hearing this, Tong Sui breathed a sigh of relief. Li Yuan did not drive a Ferrari to take a girl with him, which means that the girl is not worthy of the Ferrari, so that position is specially reserved for him. Deep down in her heart, she even began to feel pity for the Porsche girl. They posted it upside down, and I'm actually not satisfied with it. Author, Lao He. Chapter 65. Senior, are you going to drop out of school and start a business like Gates? Xu Yanlin already knew a lot about Li Yuan. Such as the rumors of being expelled before, and the fact that he doesn't go to school at all now. It's probably true that I dropped out of school, but I don't have such powerful parents who got me such a big business right away. So, the chances of starting a business are just luck and trying the waters on a small scale. Hey, senior, even if he doesn't become the richest man in the world, he will still be very successful. When I graduate, you must give me a job. Li Yuan heard the overtones of the words. She didn't say anything about the engineer. She had probably checked the details of that engineer privately. First, make sure you don't starve to death. If you succeed in the future, you are welcome to work in my company, provided that you like it. Perhaps after I graduate, my senior's company will already be one of the top 500 companies in the world. Then I will take my senior's promise and climb high. Haha, I'd like to give you some auspicious words. Come on, let's go find Dabai. It's almost time. Pick some cat food for him, and then I'll take you back. Li Yuan stood up and looked around. Finally, I saw Dabai not far away. At this time, Dabai was eating grass crazily. Xu Yanlin followed Li Yuan. Looking at this scene, a light seemed to suddenly flash in her mind. Senior, is it because Dabai doesn't like to eat because I didn't buy cat grass for him? Li Yuan. How does he know this? He has never had a cat. But it seems true. He had a dog in his hometown, and the dog also liked to chew grass. It seemed to promote digestion? Yeah, I almost forgot to tell you. You have to prepare some cat grass for it every few days, otherwise it will have indigestion. Li Yuan could only bite the bullet and say. After all, this cat is his. Xu Yanlin chuckled, watching Dabai eating grass there, and simply sat next to Dabai and watched. She really loves cats. But there must be something more important than cats. Senior, look at Dabai, it tastes so delicious. Are these grasses so delicious? Why don't people eat grass? Li Yuan smiled and said, humans also need grass, but their needs are different from those of cats. Ah! What kind of grass do people eat? Why haven't I heard of it? Vegetables. No. Have I eaten it? You, probably haven't eaten yet. Senior, have you eaten it? I, have eaten. Xu Yanlin looked at Li Yuan expectantly and said, Senior, can you take me to buy it? You're too young to eat that now. I can feed it to seniors. I just want to see what the grass looks like. Ang, I'll take you there when I get the chance. If there is merit, Li Yuan feels that his merit has been deducted as negative at this moment. Then it's settled. I will remember everything the senior promised me, and I won't cheat on you in the future. As long as you don't cheat. He, I won't. After saying that, Xu Yanlin picked up Dabai and whispered, Dabai, don't eat here. I will buy cat grass for you to eat later. Meow carrot. Li Yuan and Xu Yanlin slowly walked towards the car. It was not yet 5 o'clock, and it was still very hot outside. A figure trotted over. Li Yuan wanted to avoid it, but she came directly in front of Li Yuan. He put a glass of cold drink in front of Li Yuan and said, Li Yuan, I'll treat you to a drink of water. For Tong Sui, this is indeed a big investment. And she was prepared for more than just that. Who are you? Li Yuan didn't even bother to look at Tong Sui. Xu Yanlin on the side was a little embarrassed. Wasn't this beautiful girl beaten by Li Yuan's friend at the south gate of the school a few days ago? Her face recovered so quickly. Tong Sui said, I know you are angry with me. It's because I did something wrong before. I apologize to you. I'll treat you to dinner later, okay? I also bought movie tickets. How about we watch a newly released movie together? Sample. Tong Sui lowered her attitude, which was a scene that was impossible to happen before. Idiot. Li Yuan didn't even look at Tong Sui. He pushed Xu Yanlin behind with one finger and led her towards the side. Tong Sui, who was behind the scenes, suddenly shouted, Li Yuan, you found a replacement for me, do you think you can delete me from your memory? The more this happens, the more it proves that you can't forget this relationship. Why are you torturing yourself? You can have a complete me, not a substitute for me. Xu Yanlin. Li Yuan. The next second, Li Yuan directly put his arms around Xu Yanlin's shoulders and turned around. Tong Sui laughed. He walked over and held out the cold drink in his hand again. I know you. You know shit. Li Yuan interrupted her without waiting for her to finish speaking. It's so disgusting. He pointed at Xu Yanlin next to him and said to Tong Sui, how can you have the nerve to say that she is your replacement? You don't even know how much you weigh. Why should you compare with her? Besides, don't say that I haven't been in love with you, even if we have been in love, then you are just a transitional product of mine. Tong Sui, Let me formally introduce to you, the person next to me is my first love. If you want to count, then you are her substitute. As you just said, since I have a complete her, why do I need a flawless substitute? Now, do you know your position? Idiot. Li Yuan held Xu Yanlin's shoulders and turned to leave. Tong Sui's face was pale and her hands were shaking. He opened his mouth to say something, but found that he had no strength left in his body. After walking more than 10 meters, Li Yuan let go of his hand. Xu Yanlin, who was still very nervous, suddenly felt a little lost. So he whispered, "Senior, that senior is actually very beautiful. Whose rough house is not beautiful if it is puttied? Compared with yours, it is far behind. How can I just, don't know how to put on makeup." Xu Yanlin almost never uses cosmetics, and even skincare products. She felt it was a shameful thing. It's a good thing that you don't know how to put on makeup. The heavy metals you put on your face are as high as industrial wastewater. If you don't cover it with putty, you won't even know what kind of pits are inside. It's all natural and good. Li Yuan was definitely suffering from it. The rich woman he served in his previous life could spit it out 3 times after taking one bite. Therefore, he will never stay with a rich woman again in his life. Even if he doesn't have a penny, as long as he doesn't starve to death, he will never choose that path again. Really? For the first time, Xu Yanlin was recognized for not knowing how to put on makeup. My cousin kept urging me to learn how to put on makeup. He also said that makeup is a very important skill that can add a lot of brilliance to a woman's life. Really, unsightly makeup can satisfy your own vanity and give yourself some confidence. With a natural beauty like yours, God will reward you with food. Isn't makeup just ruining God's job? Hee, then I won't wear makeup anymore. While they were talking, the two of them had already arrived at the car. Xu Yanlin suddenly asked again, "Senior, who is your first love? Why doesn't she cherish such an outstanding boy as your senior?" Li Yuan went to drive and said, "I don't have a first love. I was just talking nonsense." Ah! Xu Yanlin was stunned. Such a handsome senior doesn't have a first love? Me neither. She said something to herself. Seeing Xu Yanlin talking to herself, Li Yuan came over and said, "What? Do you want to be my first love?" If I am a senior, that's okay. Thanks to Yiren DY3336, be happy with the situation B for your monthly ticket support. Can I ask for a reward? Just choose a paragraph and give me 2 book coins to top up your fan list. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. They posted it upside down, and I'm actually not satisfied with it. Author, Lao He. Chapter 66. Li Yuan drove the car, and the atmosphere inside was a bit subtle. Xu Yanlin seemed to be expecting a reply, lowering her head slightly and glancing at the driver next to her from time to time. This side face is really handsome. After a while, Li Yuan asked, "Do you know what first love means?" Xu Yanlin's face turned red all of a sudden, and she said hesitantly, "It's the first time I've ever fallen in love." "What does it mean to be in love?" "Well, it's just." Xu Yanlin couldn't answer because she had the concept of love in her mind, but when she wanted to describe it, she didn't know where to start. "It seems that no matter what I say, it's not accurate enough." Li Yuan continued, "Falling in love is not a good thing. Everyone must be prepared to pay. Without this intention, love will become the source of pain, turning a good life into a mess, and even in life, it left trauma. So, Senior, does he not want to fall in love, or does he not want to fall in love with me?" Xu Yanlin asked softly. She noticed it from the moment Li Yuan started pushing her with his fingers. Although Li Yuan did not refuse to meet her and could have a pleasant chat with her, the invisible barrier still existed. I have no plans to fall in love in the near future. Oh. Half an hour later, Xu Yanlin bought cat food and cat grass. Li Yuan drove her to the gate of the community. Just as she was about to get off the car, Xu Yanlin suddenly said, "Senior, will you see me again on Sunday?" "Of course I will. Let's go have dinner together at noon on Sunday." Xu Yanlin's eyelashes fluttered and her mood immediately improved. "Thank you, Senior, I will go back first." Li Yuan waited until Xu Yanlin's figure disappeared on the road in the community, then turned around and went to pick up Zhou Ranran from the driving school. As for falling in love, whoever believes what a child says is stupid. Falling in love in Xu Yanlin's heart and falling in love in his heart are two completely different things. If you don't give them grass to eat, who will talk about it? Platonic love is as far away as death. He is not that free. After picking up Zhou Ranran at the gate of the driving school, Zhou Ranran said, "Take me to the mall, I'll buy some clothes." Sister Ran is finally willing to buy clothes. Zhou Ranran suddenly wanted to wear a skirt. After arriving at the mall, Li Yuan took Zhou Ranran to the women's clothing floor. Zhou Ranran's dressing style has always been close to neutral, which is simply a waste of figure. "Sister Ran, what do you think of this skirt? This tube top dress will definitely look good on Sister Ran. And this one, a high-neck half-length open t-shirt, paired with a pair of denim shorts, it looks so cool. This high-slit cheongsam is also beautiful. It has a classic color and the material is very comfortable to wear." Li Yuan never stopped and took the initiative to find clothes for Zhou Ranran. Zhou Ranran was speechless. "I want to buy clothes, not you, so why are you so active? But those clothes are really pretty, but a little too feminine." In the end, in the face of Li Yuan's disappointed look, she chose a sky blue lapel one-piece dress, which was a combination of JK and fashion styles. "Then I chose a V-neck silk trim t-shirt. A bit too mature. Sister Ran, I'm telling you the truth, don't be angry. Although you are naturally beautiful, this dress is really not good looking. This V-neck is not as good looking as the turtleneck I just chose for you. There is still a hollow in the middle of the turtleneck, a heart shape. Just breathable. If you don't speak, no one will think you are mute." Zhou Ranran carried the clothes to pay. Li Yuan has no money. In a sense, Zhou Ranran is much richer than him, and he still has more than 10,000 yuan in hand. The only pity is that those beautiful clothes were not favored. From his perspective, those clothes were particularly suitable for Zhou Ranran. Nothing happened that night. Friday came as expected. Before the market opened, Li Yuan contacted the agency he had handled before. All the procedures had been completed long ago, and the official seal was received this afternoon. Li Yuan just had to go to him to get it before 6 o'clock in the afternoon. The registered name is Jushin Media, and the relevant trademarks have not yet been obtained. Lu Hao will be the first media person to sign a contract. 9:20. Li Yuan sat in front of the computer and watched Deutsche Transport's collective bidding. The collective bidding is in the limit down state and has not yet entered the pricing stage. But looking at this, I am afraid that the market will drop to the limit and open. In theory, today is the best time to enter the market. But Li Yuan felt that the other party would not give him a chance. Even if it drops to the limit, there won't be many chips, and it won't be able to accommodate tens of millions of funds. Anyway, if you are just lying down, you will not pursue ultimate profits. 13 Taibao are also paying attention to Dejiao Transportation. After all, they have 200 million in it. Did you see it? What I said yesterday, Deco Transport's pig-killing plate can no longer be hidden. It will definitely fall to the limit today, and we don't even have a chance to escape. Take advantage of placing orders now, and you can count on how much money you can make. Well, if it's too late, we'll all be buried. It was Lao Lu who said this. Lao San, who had always been the opposite, did not speak. Ho Jianqiu said, Lao Lu, no matter whether he is a real boss or not, we can't deny him even a day's trust. If it really drops to the limit, we will admit it. Anyway, if you want to lose 100 million with a capital of 200 million, it will have to fall by at least 5 or 6 limits. No matter how rubbish Deutsche Transport is, it will not fall that much. Let's wait until the market opens. At this time, Lao San said, Wu Yanjai's call auction performance is very strong. It has just been priced. It opened 4 points higher. The trend has come out. It will definitely go to a higher position today. For 13 Taibao, such market conditions are considered normal. You can find patterns in the trends of the past few days and form your own set of trading thinking. Then, the 5 minutes from 9:25 to 9:30 are very painful. Ho Jianqiu switched back and forth between the two stocks. A sharp contrast, whether a good stock or a junk stock can be seen at a glance. Most people in the group focused on Wu Yanjai because they could look for opportunities to get in. However, his focus is still on Deutsche Transportation. Finally, 9:30 arrived. Opening. Deutsche Bahn Transport undoubtedly opened at the limit. Wu Yanjai surged higher at the opening. Wu Yanjai's momentum is too strong. Isn't it going to hit the daily limit today? Damn, I should have bought some yesterday. Do you want to rush in now? If it reaches the limit, you can still get a few points. Try. Go, go, go. Ho Jianqiu suddenly said in the group, if you don't care about your life, just rush forward. Look at the German transport, it's already gone to the ground. Are you kidding? How the hell is this possible? Almost everyone focused on Deutsche Transport. Deutsche Bahn Transport dropped to the limit at the opening, but it only lasted for 1 minute, with less than 10 million transactions, and then began to violently rise. A straight line, without any hesitation, from the lower limit to the higher limit in less than 30 seconds. It doesn't matter if it reaches the daily limit. Isn't Wu Yanjai, the third child, about to reach its daily limit? The so-called big guys are at about the same level as us. At this time, the third child said, I just got greedy. I didn't have time to withdraw after it reached 8 points. Suddenly, hundreds of millions fell down. Now Wu Yanjai is 5 points underwater. I can't sell it, nor can I add a position. Lao Wu, go and invite the big guy to join the group. Thanks to Canoe in the Sea for your 1000 coin reward and monthly ticket support. Thanks to Book Friend 202208121838361449 for the 1000 coin reward. Thanks to Book Friend 202205011748485882 T Egg Powder Zhao Yunfei Yun Ten Yunjia Book Friend 202308081122235621 for the reward. Thanks to Zoya's Blessing named God and Gonfanshan for their monthly support. They posted it upside down, and I'm actually not satisfied with it. Author, Lao He. Chapter 67. Li Yuan looked at the Dejiao Transportation Board and breathed a sigh of relief. Close your eyes and recall every detail of the past 2 days in your mind. The more I think about it, the more I realize that some things may seem accidental, but in fact they are inevitable. In most financial games, the outcome is doomed from the beginning. The process can only determine whether the ending is good enough. He heard the voice coming from WeChat. His own account and Lu Hao's were sent several times by Ho Jianqiu. He did not reply to Lu Hao's account, but picked up his own account. Little brother, can you contact the boss? I want to call him and have a few words. Please help me. Don't worry, little brother, I won't let your work go in vain. As long as you ask, I will do my best to help you do it. If the house doesn't work, it's no problem to change to a villa. Seeing Ho Genkyo starting to make various promises, Li Yuan replied, "Old man, I really can't help with this matter. My friend has decided not to trade stocks again after this trading session. By the way, he also asked me to tell you, don't move your positions these days. Starting from next Thursday, 80 million will be shipped every day. The shipments will be divided into time periods. Don't smash the market. Until next Tuesday, whatever is left, how much money is needed, please clear the warehouse directly with Dejiao Transportation. Also, my friend said that it doesn't matter whether you give me the last payment or not. He also told me that if I don't take your house, he will give me one himself." Li Yuanshen was afraid that after breaking up with the 13 Taibao, these guys would stop paying him. "So I used a provocation method. Although the possibility is very low, you still need to be prepared. Do you still want to cooperate with 13 Taibao? There will definitely be a chance in the future, but not now. He should have almost all the funds next week. He is concentrating on trading his own funds and has no energy to pick stocks for 13 Taibao. He will wait and see when he is free." Moreover, the 13 Taibao did not obey the command this time. If they do not learn a lesson, there will be no room for cooperation in the future. Ho Genkyo replied quickly and said, "That's not possible. We will not lose a penny of the big brother's money. And this time it is our fault that there is not enough funds to enter the market. We will not shirk our responsibility and end up with a surplus. We will calculate it based on the cost of 400 million to ensure that the big boss will not suffer a loss in this matter. Oh, then please leave a message to my friend. He can see it, but he just doesn't want to reply to your message." "Oh, okay, little brother, that. Old man, I really can't help you anymore. If I continue to help, I really won't be able to talk to my friend. Don't make it difficult for me." "Well, then I will think of a solution myself. I will trouble my little brother during this period. Don't worry, I will definitely do what I say about the house." "No need, my friend has already given me a house. Then I'll cash it out and transfer it to the big boss. It's a small token of appreciation for my little brother." Ho Genkyo knew very well that he could only get to know this big man because of Li Yuan. If you offend the boss this time, you must not offend Li Yuan just because of the millions. As long as we can maintain a good relationship with Li Yuan, there will still be opportunities in the future. Now he really wanted to shout in his heart, "Boss, love me again. Damn it, why are you so obsessed with it that you start to doubt the boss? Didn't I just lose money for 2 days? Not only did I make money back today, but I don't know how much I can make in the future. Is the boss's compensation called compensation? That's called layout. Only the compensation of these leaks can be called real compensation. Look at the third child who took Wu Yanjai yesterday and turned into a leak today. They left the boss, they are nothing." After returning to the group, Ho Genkyo said immediately, "The big boss said that we will continue to hold the line for the next week. Let us slowly reduce our positions next Thursday. The daily reduction should not exceed 80 million, and we cannot. The large-scale reduction in positions will continue until next Tuesday. No matter how much funds are left, all positions will be cleared." "Lao Wu, why didn't you bring the boss into the group?" "What the heck, the boss said that Jinpeng will quit working in the future. How much money did we lose to the boss this time? We could have brought in at least 400 million, but what happened? What if we really told the boss like that, next Friday we will have a consecutive game, next week we will have at least 2 consecutive games, and today it will be an 8-game game, we will get our money back directly. Hey, the market is so bad. Do you think the big boss will trade for a small profit? Without hundreds of millions of profits, the big boss won't even bother to take action. But didn't you say that the big boss is only worth about 300 million? That's because they don't want to play anymore. 300 million is enough. If I hadn't met a little brother recently and saved the life of a big boss, would the big boss come to point out this bunch of elm lumps like us? The group initially had trust in the big guy, based on the fact that Wu Yanjai had made 100 million. But in Deutsche Transportation, losing money for 2 consecutive days has worn away more than half of the trust established. Even Ho Jianqiu, a die-hard fan, is a little unsure. You can only imagine what other people's attitudes will be. Lao Wu, are we going back to the time when we were just playing around on our own? You also know that you are playing blindly. When did you become so blindly confident in yourself? Even the big guys don't play Wu Yanjai, how dare you? Ho Jianqiu knew that it was too late to say anything now. So he expressed his decision: after the liquidation this time, we will directly give 40% of the floating profit to the big boss. After all, the big boss let us enter the market from the beginning. It was us who worked hard to give the big boss 40% of the floating profit. Let me calculate it based on the capital of 400 million, so the boss will not suffer any loss. 40%? Then doesn't everything we earn this time go to others? Then you still have 60% to eat, right? In short, I have agreed. If any of you disagree, just say it. You will not get a penny of your money, and it will be shared equally by those who agree. But even if I can still have a good relationship with the big boss in the future, but if you don't agree with me this time, don't follow me. As soon as these words came out, no one in the group spoke. Ho Jianqiu believes that time will let them make a decision. If Deutsche Transport really gets 5 straight lines in a row next week, everyone in the group will have to kneel down. Pig killing plate? Indeed, they could have been butchers killing pigs, but now they have turned into pigs. They have lived for so many years, and they know very well that people don't have much luck in this life. The one time you may miss is the only time in your life. Lu Hao drove his car and came to the gate of the driving school to pick him up. Li Yuan is out, and this job can only be done by him. After Zhou Ranran got in the car, she asked, "Where is Xia Yuan?" He said something happened when he went out and asked us to go back first. "Oh, then take me to that Wanda, hurry up, we have to get home before he comes back." They posted it upside down, and I'm actually not satisfied with it. Author, Lao He. Chapter 68. Li Yuan specially bought food and brought it back, but found that Lu Hao and the others hadn't returned home yet. Worried about something happening, I called Lu Hao. After being connected, he immediately asked, "Mouse, where are you?" Finally, Zhou Ranran's voice came, "We are almost at the community. I bought some fruit and went downstairs to get some." "Okay." Li Yuan hung up the phone and walked outside. After getting off the elevator, he saw Lu Hao alone next to the car, holding a bag of grapes in his hand. "Well, it only weighs 2 or 3 kilograms in total. What else is in the car?" He subconsciously thought there was still something in the car. Lu Hao said, "Brother Yuan, that's all, it's gone." "Gone? Then Sister Ran called me, where is she?" Going upstairs, Lu Hao pointed to the safe passage, which was the stairs. There is no doubt that Zhou Ranran's mind is fine. So that's what was done. "Where have you been?" Lu Hao said tangledly, "Brother Yuan, don't ask. I'll carry the grapes. Let's get in the elevator." Li Yuan reached out and grabbed the grapes and said, "I finally got them down. Let me carry them." After mentioning the grapes, Li Yuan glanced at the packaging bag. Above is the logo of a supermarket. Below the supermarket logo, there is a line of address. Wanda Plaza, first floor. Li Yuan went shopping for clothes. 2 minutes later, they returned to their residence. Zhou Ranran has come back and sat at the dining table. Li Yuan held the 2 kilograms of grapes and dangled them in front of Zhou Ranran. "Sister Ran, this fruit is really heavy. I really can't lift it without it. Joe Ran said, isn't there still watermelon? Have it? Li Yuan looked at Lu Hao. Then, Lu Hao scratched his head and said, I forgot to take the watermelon to check out. Anyway, he is the one taking the blame. Joe Ran said, forget it, wash your hands and eat quickly. Li Yuan really didn't understand what Joe Ran bought, and why he hid it like this. Even if you buy yesterday's clothes, it doesn't matter, right? After the meal, everyone began to do their own things. Li Yuan first opened his Douyin account. These days, every time I open it, I can see the bright red 999 plus. Following, commenting, forwarding, etc., the traffic of my account skyrocketed. The reason is that Ling Linky gave herself a traffic pool, and it was a very accurate traffic pool. Now the entire account has more than 30,000 followers. A video posted at around 3 p.m. already has 1,300 likes and nearly 100 comments and retweets. He never replies to private messages. However, because of his mutual relationship with Ling Linky, the message Ling Linky sent him was more conspicuous. Boss, do you want to show your face in your fan group? Everyone is waiting. Li Yuan replied, fan group? When did I have a fan group? The real account in his video only has a little more than 120,000 yuan, so he is not considered a big shot. Ling Chi, I built it. We have opened the fourth group now, with 500 people in each group. Li Yuan. Ling Chi, big brother, don't worry. I promise not to charge any fees or cut leaks. I just hope that the big boss can come to the group to give lectures when he is free. Li Yuan, I've already said what I need to say in the first half of the video. There's nothing to say in the group. In short, it's your business to set up a group and it has nothing to do with me. If something happens in the future, don't look for me. I don't have anything to say give you any authority. He can't control this matter. When the company has more manpower in the future, it can specially arrange people to delete comments for itself to avoid the appearance of group accounts in the comment area. But now, he doesn't have the energy to review each item one by one. Ling Chi, no, I'm in charge of the group, so don't worry, boss. Even if you don't give lectures in the group, you can always give lectures to me, the big housekeeper, right? She's your little crush, don't be like that. Is it good to be ruthless? Li Yuan, okay, for the sake of diverting traffic to me, I will give you a wealth code, 600,036, go buy it. Ling Chi, thank you, boss. Compare your heart. Then, Li Yuan laughed. In less than a minute, Ling Linky came over again. Boss, that's a bank stock. Is there a wrong number? That's right, it's just a bank stock. You can't buy it and suffer losses, and you can't be fooled by it. What Li Yuan gave was China Merchants Bank. Although the market has not been good in the past 2 years, it is still a good ticket that will double in 5 years. As long as you can secure it, where can you find a good financial plan with an average annual profit of 20%? Ling Chi, grief, how can I hold bank stocks? Boss, why don't you give me one that can have an increase of 30 or 40 points in 1 or 2 months or half a year? That way you can definitely hold it. Li Yuan, no one can predict the short to medium term. Even I don't know how to trade until the market opens. Ling Linky, can you bear to let such a cute little fangirl like you lose money all day long? If others find out, I will embarrass you. Li Yuan, throw it away, I don't have any face. In the future, we can exchange some professional knowledge normally when we have time, but forget about recommending stocks, we can't do anything illegal. The main reason is that this Ling Chi doesn't have much money. Otherwise, he would be willing to wear a shell and have an in-depth communication with her. Another point is that this guy doesn't seem to understand his own technical analysis at all. He has clearly given a lot of directions in the video, but she can't tell? Some of my fans must be able to see it, otherwise they would have stopped paying attention to it. In the past 2 years, the management of short video platforms has been relatively loose, and there are a lot of real accounts. It won't be possible in another 2 years. The real account only dares to flash the amount of its holdings, and no one else dares to show it. She may have watched the video without thinking at all. This kind of communication is meaningless. Give her the code directly. I have a good figure but I can't eat it. His plan has just begun, and he cannot leave anyone with any clues on the internet. After waiting for a few minutes and receiving no message from Ling Linky, he thought the other party had given up and felt relieved. As a result, he turned around and received a photo from her on Lu Hao's WeChat. In one of the photos, she was lying on a bench, wearing a Chinese-style summer shirt, with the second button unbuttoned, and holding a butterfly bone fan in her hand, covering most of her face. The whole body curve is very attractive. Another photo shows her wearing a bare-shouldered sweater, sitting on a wooden board next to the floor-to-ceiling window. The sun shines on her body, making her already white skin even more shiny. Probably not wearing anything underneath. But again, I still can't see the face clearly. Boss, this is really my last photo. I guarantee it's my own photo, not an internet photo. Just because I work so hard, give me some pointers. Crying. Why don't you show your face in all the photos? Li Yuan asked curiously. Ling Linky quickly replied, I am a university teacher. It would be bad if the photo is accidentally spread and my students see it. Boss, if you are free, we can meet in person. I invite you have a meal. Thank you for the monthly ticket support of The Devil in My Heart book friends 202210281232032167 late winter 12. Starting tomorrow, it will be updated at 12 a.m. every day. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. They posted it upside down, and I'm actually not satisfied with it. Author, Lao He. Chapter 69. When the other party said this, Li Yuan felt excusable. If a university teacher was exposed to such photos by his students, he would most likely be very irritated. If you really want to trade stocks with me, then just wait. After 3 or 4 months, you will have the opportunity. After saying this, Li Yuan logged out of his account and logged into his WeChat. There are still greetings and daily communication from Xu Yanlin. Of course, there is also Wen Yuxian. Wen Yuxian sent a video with the caption, Senior, this is a video I recorded. Can you help me take a look? The cover of the video is a girl with a stunning figure and a very delicate appearance. Even though she is wearing a slightly more mature dress, she still looks young and immature. On the contrary, it sublimated the whole temperament. Open the video. Many people have heard of the Rothschild family. In fact, how powerful this family is. It is a standard financial article. Financial articles are divided into 2 categories, one is to answer practical questions, and the other is to popularize science and capital topics. However, from Li Yuan's perspective, the writing was a bit ordinary, and the opening chapter was not amazing enough. However, Wen Yuxian's oral broadcasting ability is still good, her pronunciation is standard, and her intonation is consistent. With the temperament of a schoolgirl, even if you stand in front of the camera and do nothing, you will become popular. Not to mention that the writing is so excellent and the speaking ability is so strong. It won't take long for you to become a tens of millions of fans. Big internet celebrity. It's easy to say nice things. If you don't say it well, either the other party will be angry, or you will be taking the blame for yourself, which is a thankless task. Con, are seniors telling the truth? Wen Yuxian was obviously speechless. Because Li Yuan acted very perfunctory from beginning to end. She knows better than anyone else that a person who dares not criticize you will not be sincere towards you. After all, the price of criticism is very high. Only people who care about you will help you find some shortcomings. Otherwise, ordinary friends will of course keep talking about your advantages. Of course I am telling the truth, but I am only speaking based on my own judgment and may not necessarily represent the market. But I have watched Senior Tong Swafi's video. The senior has a very good grasp of the opening, the overall story structure and the rhythm of the plot. So, the senior suddenly said this, is there something unspeakable? Li Yuan, that's right. I signed a contract with a company and am currently writing for that company. Therefore, all my intellectual property rights during this period belong to the company and I cannot take on private work. Li Yuan just wanted to completely cut off Wen Yuxian's thoughts. It's just for no reason, why should I help you? Just call me senior? Which company did the senior sign with? A newly established media company. Then have they signed a female financial anchor? If not, what about me? Li Yuan opened Wen Yuxian's video again, watching it more carefully this time. There is nothing to say about temperament, at least it is much better than Tong Swafi. Although Tong Swafi is good looking and has a good figure, she has a very vulgar aura in her bones. That indescribable feeling is actually a huge detractor. Then the rhythm is also good, especially the pronunciation is extremely clear, which is not easy for many people to achieve. It's not that easy to be an internet celebrity. Many people don't know what to say when they look at the camera. Most people simply can't control the rhythm of their speech, and may even say a bunch of nonsense without even realizing it. There are no extra movements or body language. The entire video can basically focus on her face and figure. This is similar to Tong Swafi. He feels that it is not difficult to cultivate a millionaire internet celebrity, and his potential was much higher than Tong Swafi's before. Do you want to sign with our company? Yeah, mainly because of the senior's manuscript. Okay, let me help you ask. The company is indeed recruiting a female financial anchor. I don't know the specific situation. I will notify you as soon as there is a result. Okay, thank you, senior. You're welcome. There are no traps in Jushin Media's contract, and of course, don't expect a high price for an amateur to sign it. In Li Yuan's view, Wen Yuxian's initial salary would be at most 2,000 yuan a month. But the contract must start at 50,000 yuan. I just don't understand. Why does Wen Yuxian want to become an internet celebrity when her family conditions are not bad? Could it be that the middle-aged man she saw that day was actually her godfather? Are you playing a godfather game now? No matter what, as long as she is willing to sign the contract, Li Yuan dares to take it. When I woke up, it was Saturday. Today is Lu Hao's special performance. After getting up, Li Yuan took out the contract he had prepared and asked Lu Hao to sign it. At the same time, Li Yuan also started to register an account for Lu Hao. This type of account is basically named after the person. Lu Hao goes fishing. And released the first video. After Lu Hao saw 100,000 yuan a month, he asked, "Brother Yuan, is this salary too high?" It's not high. The 100,000 yuan is nominal. In fact, you only get 10,000 yuan. The remaining 90,000 yuan belongs to your operating expenses. Sister Ran and I worked hard to shoot and edit the video for you. Arranging the script for you and various costs are all included. Oh, that's fine. He felt that 10,000 yuan was already very high. Zhou Ran asked, "Where is my contract? You're still an intern and you don't get paid. Then you collect the money for me." Li Yuan spread his hands, "Don't I have no salary? The boss of the company is evil. There is nothing he can do. This is the way the world is." You are the boss of the company. Sister Ran, the boss of the company is the boss of the company. I am me. I am only the representative of the boss of the company. The company is a limited liability company, so the boss of the company is not the same as me. Joe ran. Nonsense. But she also knew that she and Lu Hao were just there for fun, and Li Yuan had been busy during this period. She still felt that since she was only given 10,000 yuan, she might as well write 10,000 yuan on the contract. After lunch, the three of them set off. Joe Ran has figured out Li Yuan's routine, first stuff 2 to 300 yuan, and asked the Black Pit boss to be an actor. There was almost no change in the plot, except that the Black Pit boss looked down on him, and Lu Hao finally slapped him in the face. She had seen the finished product and found it inexplicably burning. The main reason is that Lu Hao himself is honest and honest, looks like a doormat, and doesn't really need acting skills. After they finished their work and the three of them were eating at the food stall, Joe Ran suddenly said, "I'm going out tomorrow, Xiao Yuan, do you want to come with me?" "Ah. What is it? Is it important?" Seeing this, Joe Ran said, "It's not important, I just want to meet the little sister from before. She is very beautiful now and is still in college in Zhangzhou. I just want to introduce you to her." They posted it upside down, and I'm actually not satisfied with it. Author, Lao He. Chapter 70. Li Yuan didn't want to meet any little girl, even if she wasn't now. Although dining with Xu Yanlin is not an important matter, the girl has been looking forward to it for a long time, so it is a bit inappropriate to let go. At around 9 o'clock on Sunday morning, Li Yuan first drove Joe Ran to the city station, and then drove to the gate of Xu Yanlin's community. Xu Yanlin didn't bring a cat with her today, and she also wore a pleated skirt with a white body and black edges. 2 black ribbons ran from her shoulders to the back of her hands, and then formed a loop. This dress is really beautiful. Xu Yanlin is not too short, she is 165 centimeters tall, so she fits it easily. Unfortunately, it was a bit tight today. "Senior, I know a restaurant with particularly delicious food, located in an old alley in the city center." After getting in the car, Xu Yanlin took the initiative to talk. She had never eaten alone with a boy. "Anyway, whoever proposes the treat will be treated as such. If you treat me, I will listen to you." Xu Yanlin immediately said, "Originally, I wanted to hire a senior, and I guarantee that the family will not disappoint the senior. Let's go, you lead the way. What's there to say? Food that costs nothing will taste delicious no matter how you eat it." The car slowly walked towards the city center. Xu Yanlin was like a little bird in the morning, chirping non-stop. Actually, Zhangzhou used to have a lot of delicious restaurants, but it's a pity that they were all demolished. Those old stores have lost their premises, some have moved to remote places, and some have moved to some newly developed communities. Those who have money can buy a shop in a newly developed community, but many who don't have enough money can only put a sign on the window in the community, which is difficult to find. Li Yuanshen understands this. Indeed, there is also the fact that the crackdown has been so severe in the past few years. Many shops have either closed down or have hidden themselves in residential buildings. They have to be introduced by acquaintances. Yes, they will crack down hard, saying that hygiene is not up to standard. Although I think there is no problem in doing so, but the prices in those old stores are really cheap. There is one not far from the store where we ate today. Specializing in cooking, a plate of vegetarian dishes only costs 3 yuan, and some meat only costs 4 yuan, and they are very delicious. Xu Yanlin's memories were brought back. She has been in Zhangzhou for a long time and went to elementary school in Zhangzhou. But my family didn't have much money, and I didn't have much pocket money on weekdays. When I was living in junior high school, I relied on some treasure restaurants to improve my life, otherwise I wouldn't have developed so well. Anna Shen's home is far away, and even Anna Shen herself has to live on campus and can only go back on Saturdays and Sundays. Naturally, it was impossible for her to stay in other people's homes every day. More than 20 minutes later, the car stopped on the side of the road. Li Yuan found a parking space and parked the car. The old alley was very narrow and the car couldn't drive in. Unlike the alley in Wanda that has not been demolished, there are nail houses there, but here there is no plan to demolish it at all. The houses here are hundreds of years old and are very characteristic of Zhangzhou. It is also a tourist check-in spot on weekdays. But Xu Yanlin and Li Yuan did not stay outside, but kept walking inside. The roads are getting narrower and the houses are getting worse and worse. Finally, we stopped at the entrance of a restaurant called Lofu Donkey Broth Soup. Just by looking at the sign, Li Yuan knew that the food at this restaurant was absolutely authentic. Xu Yanlin said with a smile, "This is the restaurant. I used to be so greedy. I can't forget the feeling after eating it once. Unfortunately, I don't have much money, so I can only eat it once or twice a year." Li Yuan thought he was going to eat some hot pot, barbecue, or Japanese food today, but it turned out to be such a down-to-earth restaurant. What kind of barbecue and Japanese food are really delicious? No, just because it's easy to take pictures. Unless Chinese food is a particularly high-end restaurant, the environment and presentation are almost non-existent. For most girls, taking photos is not allowed, and the price/performance ratio is almost zero. Xu Yanlin doesn't pursue any sense of ritual, she just feels comfortable getting along with her. And just look at Xu Yanlin and you will know that the food in the small restaurant is really meaty. There were not many people at noon, so the two of them found a seat immediately. The waiter is the boss lady and the boss is the chef. There is a menu hanging on the wall, so you can order whatever you want. The price is not expensive, the signature dishes are only 128, the ones related to donkey meat are only 50 or 60, and the cheat sheets range from 10 to 30 yuan. "Senior, what do you want to eat? It's my first time here, and you pay and I don't have any objection to what you eat. Hey, this donkey meat in fragrant soup is particularly delicious, and the portion is large. Let's just eat this portion, okay? No problem." He almost burst out laughing when he saw Xu Yanlin's eyes. How delicious does this meal have to be? During this period, his mood has always been relatively cold, but every time he is with Xu Yanlin, he can feel that he is really only 19 years old, not a guy in his 30s. Zhou Ranran picked up his father at the bus station. We haven't seen each other for almost 3 years, and the traces of time are visible to the naked eye. However, after Zhou Yufang saw Zhou Ranran, his face did not look good, even though Zhou Ranran was crying. Zhou Yufang wanted to say something, but he thought about how he had just met his daughter and finally held back. Zhou Ranran said, "Dad, you haven't eaten yet, I'll take you to eat first. I know Zhangzhou better than you. I have worked on Zhangzhou construction sites for many years. I will take you to eat." After Zhou Yufang finished speaking, he walked in front. As he walked, he said, "You live with Huzi and Yuanzi now, right?" "Yeah," Zhou Ranran replied. She knew why her father came here. "Well." Zhou Yufang sighed and stopped talking. After walking for less than 5 minutes, I turned into an alley and stopped in front of a restaurant. This is the place Zhou Yufang is most familiar with. He worked at a nearby construction site for 3 years and basically ate from this place every day. There is a lot of oil and water, and you can eat rice as you like, which costs 3 to 5 yuan a meal. In fact, the Zhou family was originally a good family, but Zhou Ranran opened the door to others and had to pay hundreds of thousands of people to the family before they gave up, otherwise the sentence would be even heavier. Later, in the past 2 years, he spent hundreds of thousands more to have a child. In addition, the child was young, so he could not travel far and made less and less money. Sitting down at the door of the restaurant, Zhou Ranran took the initiative to get some boiling water. As soon as the water was poured, Zhou Yifang put a household registration book on the table. This is your household registration book. It has been marked out for you a long time ago. My family doesn't have much money recently. Just give me a card number. When I can go out to work next year, I will give you 10,000 yuan a year. Zhou Ranran choked and said, Dad, I don't want your money. Zhou Yifang looked at Zhou Ranran and suddenly clenched his fists. Can you just save some face for your father? Stay away from Hazi and Yuanzi. Especially Yuanzi, don't harm him. He is still in college, and he still has to find a girlfriend in college. His future is uncertain. You still have to eat from the public family, so why are you arguing with him every day and not being able to settle things? Thanks to Siziza Graffiti Life 28 for the reward.